All right, we're now live and welcome to our awesome chat with our good friend Melanie Go. And we're talking about healthy and holistic living in the age of COVID. And as you know, this COVID, this quarantine, it's like na-reset yung buhay natin, no? And we wanted to focus on what matters most, and that's usually health, family, and service to others. So, welcome to our awesome chat with Mel. All right. Thank you. And we're here talking to Sabrina Camacho, founder of Project. All right. Hi. Hi, Mel. How are you?
Oh, okay. Doing well.
So,
Kayo?
first things first, if you go to Melanie Teng-Go's Instagram, you'll see there your biophiliac and an EMR specialist. So, maybe can you start? Let's start first with your story. How did you get from business with cars to focusing on health? Maybe can you tell us more about your story?
Sige, I'll give you a little history. My family used to be in the automotive business, so we would import equipment that are used by car dealers, service centers. So we design their service center, equip them, and train them. So that was my family's business. And then we also had atelier on the side. And growing up, everywhere we lived, that was where the business was. So I was exposed to it like 24 hours a day. So that was my life before this. And then at that time, I was really not exposed to nature at that time. The trips to the beach were just once a year, or even Tagaytay once a year. And then, of course, in a atelier setup, there's really no nature, di ba? So I was really disconnected. But then in maybe a little over 20 years ago, I was with a friend and nakita ko, oy, may fish balls, no? Sa Quezon City. Sabi ko, mukhang malinis, baka pagkakataon ka na, pwede ko na i-try. Nakasulat pa doon na no double dipping.
Okay.
Oh,
And then,
and ayun, nagkamali ako. Maybe after a few days, my eyes started turning yellow. So I had to go to the hospital. I found out I had
HEPA.
Hep A. And then I also learned I was a carrier of Hep B. So doon talaga ako na shock. So you could be a carrier, hindi siya magma-manifest, pero nandyan. And then you can still develop certain illnesses later on sa liver. So talaga na-shock ako. Tsaka hindi ko alam kung saan nanggaling, etc. So I had so many questions. And when, as they say, diba, if you have a lot of questions, when the student is ready, the teacher comes. So
okay.
met people who introduced me to natural medicine, to homeopathy, to anthroposophic medicine. And then, yun na, no turning back na from there. So that was my entry point.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward to a few years later, I had another health issue. Right before I had my second son, so meron na akong background on health, di ba? I was already into it. I knew na, okay, before we conceived again, I wanted to be
Healthy.
clean, detox, right? So the last thing that I didn't do at that point was remove my mercury fillings. I had quite a lot. So I just went to our regular dentist, tinanggal niya yung isa, pero bigla lang instinctively, kinabahan ako. Sabi ko, bakit parang ayoko na siya ituloy. Feeling ko may mali sa proseso niya because the most toxic element in the periodic table,
Yeah.
tinatawag niya,
It's
I'm
on
not
you.
she's not protected. So I just panicked. So I said, okay, I'll wait a while muna until I understand what the right way is. I didn't know at that point na may protocol pala for removal of mercury fillings. So anyway, I was able to do that later on. But right after I had that filling removed, siguro count just a few days, sobrang sensitive na ako sa cellphone radiation. As in, hindi ko siya magamit. Text lang. So kahit na phone call and then I'd put it on speaker, nararamdaman ko siya dito. Talagang I could really feel the field. And
Anong
then,
nararamdaman mo? What do you exactly feel?
headache. Parang there's really some energy here that, um, you know, creates a headache for me. And then, pag may pocket wifi pa na malapit,
Baka si
nalalasahan
Joel lang
ko.
yun.
Hindi. Imagine, weird din nalalasahan ko pag may pocket wifi na malapit. Alam ko, it's metallic taste. So, syempre, di
So,
research,
ikaw
consult.
ang totoong babaeng allergic sa Wi-Fi.
Oh, ako, meron talagang ganon. So there's really, and there's a relationship. And later I found out through my research that there's a relationship between the toxicity for me, heavy metal toxicity and electromagnetic sensitivity. So it wasn't just the mercury, kasi lumaki ako sa Talier, imagine mo yun.
No.
So exposed na ako sa cadmium, etc. Tapos nadagdagan pa, yung trigger ng sensitivity is the removal of the filling. So parang napuno siya.
Ano ba yan? It absorbs in your body? Paano ba?
It's stored in the fat. So for us women, it's the reproductive organs, it's the brain. So it's really there and you can't just remove it. Hindi mo pwede sabihin, sige, inom lang ako ng tubig, ilalabas ko na. Hindi, it's stored in the fat. So may mga protocol dun to help, detox from heavy metals. So I did that and now I can use my phone again. But well, I can still sense it. Like, for example, I'm in the city or especially like a city like Tokyo. Parang meron lang akong limit, nararamdaman ko na talaga siya. Kasi sobra na talaga.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. So we'll ask you about that. But first, can you tell us some tips? Ano ba yung mga ginagawa mo during the quarantine para to keep your family and the kids healthy or a healthier lifestyle? No? Kasi I know idol ka namin sa mga ganyan eh. So maybe can you tell us some tips? No?
Well, for me and for my family, we see this as a gift, no, this time to really look inwards, to take care of ourselves, to take care of each other, to assess, what we've been doing and how we want to move forward in life. And so, with the basic health muna, let's go to the health first. I think number one is establishing a good rhythm still is very important. So you wake up at the same time, you sleep at the same time, whatever time you want, basta consistent ka. And then for us,
ganon, and then wake up late.
hindi naman yun yung ideal, pero at least if you go to the same time, you eliminate a lot of other concerns that may arise, diba? Problems that may arise. So that is number one. And then you get good quality sleep, and then of course we eat well. We try as much as possible to eat well at this time, and then also drink a lot of water, get sunlight at least 10 minutes a day between 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yan daw yung optimal for our where we are in the world. Yan yung optimal spectrum of light.
Hindi ba siya, alam mo yung bawal, di ba?
Dati bawal, di ba? Pero 10 minutes lang naman. 10 to 12 minutes lang.
Masunog, di ba?
Oo, hindi ka naman masusunog ng gano'n eh. Or pwede nga, dapat chest and arms. So ito, nasa shade, tapos nakagano'n.
Yung pala.
Pwede na yun. Yeah, basta 10 minutes, it's easy. And then, one thing I found that was very, very helpful is the meditation practice. Before I would meditate, and Joel would also meditate, but hindi siya consistent. But because we're here, and then we're also being guided by our friend Aimee, she put up Awaken Global Meditation on Facebook. So we do it together every morning at 9.
Okay.
So that's
Nice.
Ilang minutes yun?
So you're altogether 30, pero the meditation practice itself, maybe 10 to 15 minutes max. So super helpful. And then of course, after that, exercise. And then as a family, we make sure we eat together, and then we do something creative, whether it's cooking or, doing... Nakita mo, nagsusuture. Yun, and then before dinner, we'd go outside. So either play basketball together, bike, or kasi swerte nga talaga, you're really grateful na pwede pa namin gawin dito. So that's when we go out. and talagang disconnect from all the gadgets, iwan lahat, go outside, and then work in the garden for a few minutes. So, feeling ko yun yung mga activities na talagang nakaka-strengthen, not just, physically, but in all other aspects that that we really need at this time. Yun.
Vegetarian ba kayo or hindi? Ano ba? What's your diet ba?
Palagi mo ko tinatanong yan, di ba, Rach? Hindi, never ako naging vegetarian.
Okay.
Para kasi,
Pero
Kasi
anong
lang,
diet nyo?
yun
So,
lang, yung quality of, yan,
healthy.
quality, it's really about the quality of the food, where it's from, how it was grown, anong kinain ng kakainin mo, yun.
Are you
Yan,
open ba? Are you selling holy carb?
actually, before this lockdown, oo,
Buy
ano
one,
kami,
take one na kayo.
in the middle of a pivot kami, parang last straw namin yung talaga, Taal, kasi towards the end of last year, di ba sobrang grabe yung traffic from the south?
Yes.
Yung USP namin is freshly harvested food, tapos you get it the same day. So, hindi namin siya ma-deliver, di ba?
Yes.
Decided to pivot and just focus on education and the growing of the food, but not the distribution part. So we're in the middle of that when it happened. So we're actually grateful because at that time, medyo naubos na yung inventory namin, nakaset up na kami for this new phase. But because there was a clamor for healthy food in our area, during the lockdown, we had to step up and really build this, revive a market, or actually establish a market for the community. So now it's growing. Now we have other moms in the community who are helping us, grow it so that it stays even after.
It's to stay.
So ayan, there's a lot going on now. So nandun ang focus namin ngayon is how to support that. And also how to support the people that we employ, because basically we're doing that to keep them employed.
Okay. Actually, ganyan na nga nangyari, no? Yung parang community commerce. So maraming mga community entrepreneurs, and I think all the communities have like that sort of business, which is very good, di ba?
Yeah, I
Ah,
think that's really
yeah.
to go.
And then going back to your EMR practice. I am so interested kasi nga anong impact ng Wi-Fi into our lives, or maybe how do we minimize, kasi syempre all day we're into Wi-Fi, under Wi-Fi, diba? Almost 24 hours. And maybe explain first what's EMR, electromagnetic radiation specialist, and what can we do, yung simple things lang on Wi-Fi that we can do while we're still here in lockdown.
Okay, so after my past life sa automotive, and before I jumped to agri, I studied building biology because of my interest nga, and because I had that sensitivity. So under building biology, building biology rather is the study of creating healthy spaces. So we look at water, we look at building materials, and electromagnetic radiation. So both naturally occurring and man-made radiation. So that is what we call EMR. Now, under EMR, you're talking about three. So you have electric and magnetic. These two come from mga anything na nakasaksak. They produce both electric and magnetic radiation. And then the third would be RF, or radio frequency, from our wireless devices. So it also includes cordless phones, baby monitors, things like that. So anything that's wireless usually employs this type of technology. So our bodies are affected by all three. And now let's just focus on the wireless device, which is a concern now because we're always online. The number one thing, I'm not the type who would say, okay, let's go back to the Stone Ages. Wag na tayo mag cellphone. It's not naman. That's not how I see it. I think what we should do is learn about this technology and see how we can live with it. Not be a slave to it, but how it can work for us, enhance our lives. So when it comes to the home, our laptops and our desktops, these are all hardwired. So number one, hardwire it. So now the newer laptops, wala nang mga
So, walang
pang
Wi-Fi. You don't on the Wi-Fi.
may Wi-Fi kami for the phone because we turn off the cell. Because in your phone you have three technologies running, diba? The cellular, Wi-Fi, and the Bluetooth.
Okay.
So anyway, so number one is to hardwire your gear as much as you can, no? And then if you have your other handheld devices, turn off what you're not using. Like right now, naka airplane mode ako because I don't need it, right? So you just reduce exposure as much as possible. If you don't need your Bluetooth, turn it off. This goes for your speakers and everything else. Patayin nyo if you don't need it. Because kahit na hindi mo ginagamit, naghahanap siya ng signal. So you are still exposed to the radiation. So yung mga laptop natin, wag lang yung sleep. You really disable one by one the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, ganon. So that's and when do you do this? It's not. I just do it as when I can, when I remember, even if it's not time for bed. But the most important is when you're going to sleep.
Mm-mm.
To reduce, create a sleep, a sanctuary in your bedroom where there's nothing, nothing plugged.
TV, yeah.
Some people have yung mga routers sa bedroom, so it's not really advisable. Or when you charge your phone and then it's on, tapos it's next to your head, yun yung mga no-no talaga.
But ano ba mangyari pag ano?
Also remember when we're asleep, when we're asleep, ano tayo di ba, parang naka-disarm. So, talagang that's also the time for our body to rest and to regenerate. And pag may mga interference na ganon, hindi siya nakaka-rest. So what is the effect of radiation in our bodies? I guess to put it simply, if you think about, ano na lang, let's say, how does a microwave oven work? Diba boil yung water, yung molecules, umiinit. So you can think that it's also doing that to us na. Now there are studies that it actually affects the water. So tayo, that we develop in our cells, the water in our cells.
Okay.
And then it affects the DNA, and then, so on.
Work by mga stickers. Di ba may mga, alam ko dati, may mga stickers na nilalagay sa cellphone to counter the EMR.
Yeah, so personally, wala pa akong tinetest. I was supposed to test something, but hindi natuloy kasi I have to create a cage, etc. But here in our in the institution that I attended, and even in the new courses, we don't talk about those things. It's really more about pang-mitigate na pwede namin i-measure. So for example, if you want to shield the room, what would you use?
How would you shield? Oo nga. How would you shield?
Special paint. And if you understand kasi how radiation works, it can be blocked by metal. So for example, you are in the car, metal lahat, diba? And then you have tint, metal din yan. So actually, if you're inside and then may signal sa labas, you are protected inside. But once you use your phone inside, you are containing it and concentrating it in the car. It's just and affecting you. So, there are some accessories that can be purchased for to reduce exposure. But I think the simplest is just to create that sanctuary when you go to bed. Kahit yun lang muna. Yeah.
Meaning wala. Pati
Turn everything off.
What if I remember you mentioned before, paano kunyari sa condo? Siyempre, tabi-tabi yung units, di ba? Hindi mo na maalam kung saan nakalagay yung Wi-Fi nung kapitbahay mo. Baka nandun sa head kung saan yung bedroom nyo. So,
Actually, kami lumipat kasi hindi ko na makontrol yung outside of the home, right?
Yes.
Kita mo, hindi lang sa'yo kasi boom, 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 dami. And then when you look...
may machine ka kasi, may meter ka.
And then you look out the window, you see all the cell sites. So, tapos may mga pico cells. So, bombarded ka talaga left and right, up and down, all over. So, yun mahirap talaga kasi hindi natin alam. And then there are other smaller pico cells nga na ini-install nila sa hallway. exposed. Yeah, just reduce, at least with the devices that you have control
What
over,
to do?
it reduces cost. And if you live in a condo, it would be nice also to know na what is behind your bed. Baka mamaya refrigerator pala or some big equipment that also emits electric or magnetic. Not
Microwave.
yun, lumulusot yun. Yeah. So these are the things, the challenge with talking to people about this is making them understand that there's a real danger. Because you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it. And then the repercussions, diba, it takes a while to develop. So, wala. So that's why for a while I stopped talking about it because I felt that
Yeah.
people were not ready. And then I was thinking maybe this is just really for me, part of my healing, etc. So, but anyway, I'm just here for whoever would like to get more info. I just stopped making an effort muna kasi baka hindi pa nga panahon.
Yeah. Pero baka I'm sure meron rin siguro nakaka-experience like you.
Yeah, that's the thing that I also wanted to do is to reach out to people who have who experience the same type of sensitivities. Because there's a way to reduce exposure so that it's really not it's not a good feeling. Nakaka-debilitate yung feeling niya. You can't do anything.
So how can they reach you? What's the best way ba?
Send me a message na lang
Through
on
Instagram.
Facebook or Instagram. Yeah.
What's
All
your
of my
Instagram handle?
right.
What's your Instagram?
Melanie Teng-Go. Yes.
All right. Any questions?
Oh.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up. Thank you, Mel, for
So much information.
ang
Sabi
daming
ko sa'yo.
information. But any final thoughts? Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Um, I think that going back to this gift, right, of this time to really look at what's going on and how we want to move forward. It would be good to include, you know, the Earth or Mother Nature in the equation. Kasi what we're seeing now is systems, that are falling apart because they excluded that. They excluded her. And I think we should not forget that she has survived, 4.5, I don't know, billion years ba, and many evolutions. And she's undergoing an evolution now. So kailangan makisabay tayo. And if we don't put her in the equation, kaya naman niya mag-survive without us. So we're the ones who need her. We're the ones who have to play by
Yes.
her
Yeah.
rules, right? So that's just it. And same, I guess, with everything else. We have to keep asking the questions why, and not take everything at face value. Why and who's behind this and why, the intention of everything. I think that's the most important thing. Get to the bottom of it, so you know what to support and what not to support. That's it. That's where I'm at. That's my personal process. So I just thought of sharing.
Yes, and on April 22, it's the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, this Wednesday. No? So that's just a perfect message to go back and commune with nature and no Wi-Fi.
Talk
Hindi
to
naman.
yourself.
Medyo mahirap yata.
See?
Sige, we'll try. No,
Minimize.
minimize.
You work together.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alright.
tama.
Alright. Thank you, Mel.
Thank you, Mel. More session.
Yes. Bye.